This is Governor Bobber. I like good day, doctors.
George Allen here. Good day, doctors.
Hey, this is Governor Chris Christie from New Jersey. Good day, doctors.
Go! You're watching Dr. Politics.
It's Friday, and we're live. It's Dr. Politics and Political Architect Show. Dr. Don is on assignment this week, so he will have a full report next week when he's on with us. Busy week this week, may I just say, these kids rioting, and none of these governors have the chutzpah to do what President Reagan did when you had rioters at Berkeley, or I'm trying to think of the name of the governor in Ohio when we had Kent State.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to say, hold on, it'll come to me.
Well, Youngkin has said that, Governor Youngkin has said that we don't want encampments and tents we can't have up in the quad.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, what do you call? It was James Rhodes was the governor.
Oh yes, I remember.
Over in Ohio, and he sent in the National Guard. They restored order. And I think this is really a bad sign for the Democrats going into an election. And it's funny, the convention is in Chicago, like it was in 1968. Yeah. I wonder if we're going to see all the riots we saw in 68 all over again in Chicago. Yeah. Remember, it took a long time for the Democrats to ever go back to Chicago after 68. I want to say they may have been 1980 when they went back to Chicago. Or was that Detroit?
We were in Detroit in 80.
Okay.
Obama had his convention in Chicago in 2008.
Yeah, I don't know. Funny. In 2004, they had it in Boston. It was kind of weird how their nominees just turned out to be from where they had the conventions.
Yeah, I assume they had some thought towards that. And the other reason to have it in Chicago is because, remember, Hillary was really from Illinois.
Yeah.
So in 2008, they still, when they planned the convention, they probably thought Hillary would be the nominee, but they figured, okay, well, Illinois is fine for her. Mm-hmm. But I don't know after 68 if they went back to Chicago for the convention. I'm not sure they did.
Honestly, they did go back. Let's see. Maybe 1980.
84 was San Francisco. I'm not sure where 80 was. 76, would that have been Kansas City?
That was for us. Was Kansas City, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess that was for us. I guess they would.
And it's like, I'm trying to think. Hold on, let me find. I'll find out.
I think our oddest choice for a convention was, well, I guess not because of 9/11, but we were in New York, Republican convention in New York in 2004, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that's weird having it in such a blue state.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were in Ohio last time. I mean, we've been in Minnesota too.
For me, I think a great location would be. San Francisco to honor the anniversary of Barry Goldwater's 64 convention.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'd probably be run out of town.
Yeah, I guess so. And Morton Blackwell was there. The youngest
Democrats. I want to say the Democrats had a convention in Baltimore also at one point.
Maybe. I don't remember.
76. I want to say 76 may have been. No, 76 was Madison Square Garden for the Democrats. And then 1980, they were in New York 2 years in a row, evidently. Then they were in San Fran in 1984. They were
Yep.
in Atlanta in 1988.
Yeah,
But they didn't
that's
go back to
right.
Chicago. 1996 when they returned back to Chicago.
When was it? 96?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, under for Clinton, yeah.
They waited a while to go back to Chicago. I guess after the riots, they're going to have this summer will be another 25 years or so before they go back to Chicago.
It's
But
interesting.
I liked it when we had our conventions and we went between New Orleans, Los Angeles, San Diego, Miami.
Yeah,
Those are the better conventions. I mean,
yeah,
Milwaukee's okay,
yeah. But
but
I think you're right. That's not, yeah, I know, but that's
I mean,
working town.
then again, I was impressed by Cleveland. I was not, disappointed by Cleveland, but it was what it is.
Where are we doing it this year? Is it Charlotte?
No, this year we're in Milwaukee,
Oh,
Wisconsin,
okay. All right.
the land of
Dairy.
Senator Johnson. Yeah,
I think it's probably a good choice because Wisconsin will be a battleground.
yeah. I
But
wish we were in Arizona. I'm glad next year we're going to be back to one of our traditional cities of Houston, Texas, in 4 years.
yeah, I was at the
Houston.
Houston convention in '92,
Mm-hmm.
my first and only convention.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Ronald Reagan's last convention. So I
Were
saw
you a
him there.
delegate or were you a
No, I
delegate?
was just a guest. No, I was just a
Okay.
guest. I've never been a
But,
delegate to
mhm.
the convention. But I liked Houston a lot. I thought it was a great town, Houston. One of my favorite cities.
Yep.
It's an awesome place.
And
The other thing that's unique I'm seeing is it's looking really good for Trump. I checked the swing state polls. He's ahead in every swing state.
yeah, and there's no way Trump loses, frankly.
The only thing I don't know is what the effects of a possible conviction. It's a New York jury. I think they probably get on something, but I don't know the effect of that. I don't think it'll have much of an effect, but that's the one thing I don't know.
I tell you, it will have an effect. Trump will be able to raise a whole lot more money if he's convicted.
Yeah.
But
It seems like a weak case. But it's a New York jury. You never know. I think it's
you
sort
never
of
know.
rigged against them. Like the whole thing's rigged.
This is a guy who notoriously. Oh, that's fine. You can be late.
Right, Susan.
Yeah, Susan, our fact checker and
That's right.
astute viewer. Thank you, Susan. And how is poll watching today? She's covering the polls for early voting in Maryland.
Okay, good.
And I'm just disappointed how much early voting we have going on right now.
So who do you think you think it's also Brooks, or is it going to be Trone?
I'm thinking it's going to be also Brooks.
I think so. I think Trone kind of hurt himself with his major gaffe in terms of use of the slur.
And I also think that it's going to be.
But he spent a lot of money. Probably greatly outspent her, I assume.
Yeah, and I think Larry Hogan's going to win too. By the way,
I think so. We need him to because we'll need the seat.
And I think McCormick's going to win in Pennsylvania, so we may be up 2 in the Senate. And
I hope so.
I don't know where my source got this from, but evidently, if the Republicans take the majority, Fetterman is going to switch parties.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll see.
Fetterman is starting to sound more and more like Scoop Jackson every day.
Yeah, that's true. God bless him. You're right. But see, the thing, I don't know if that's just talk, because a lot of these people talk sounding noises, but ultimately vote the same. So I don't know what to make of.
Well, he's been good on Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're a poll judge. Very
Good.
Oh, you're in the Bohr Center. Okay. Wow. What are the polling hours, Susan? Because I'm actually going to probably go vote tomorrow. And a lot of our viewers are probably going to go vote tomorrow. So, but anyways, back to the rioters at GW. I'm a little appalled. I mean, UCLA, they sent in the LAPD, and then I think did I hear that right? The LAPD retreated.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I didn't see that. I don't think they would have if they were called in. I'm not sure where they even called in.
I think they went in NYU. They cleared them out of the parks because NYU as a campus, they're kind of like GW was. It's not quite defined but that whole area, they're the biggest landowners there in DC
All right.
after the federal government.
All right.
As the old joke used to be, the far as I can see, it's kind of like a play on the British Empire. The far as I can see is all run by the British Empire.
Yeah.
The far as the eye can see is owned by George Washington University.
Yeah.
And I think
Well, the other thing about this is the fact that it's being funded. There's funding from the Soroses and probably the Rockefellers, and also there are professional agitators involved, so they're not all students.
Oh yeah, a lot of
I'm
these
hearing
guys
it's
are
something like
pros.
50. I'm hearing it's more like 50-50 in terms of students.
Oh yeah, I believe it. These kids are professional. These are professional riders. It's like a rent-a-mob.
Run them up,
And,
yeah.
you can go and it's like they have a lot of that in like the third world countries. Have a lot of that sort of stuff. A rent-a-mob.
Yeah.
You want to have a demonstration happen, you just send a bunch of people out there.
Well, that's why. Yeah, that's why Biden really should take a lot of heat for this, because the Soroses, who are allies of his, they're helping to fund this.
Oh yeah.
So one end he denounces it, on the other, I mean, he
Well,
could.
here's the thing: Joe Biden is also no friend of the Jewish community. Frankly, they are. He has openly been anti-Israel, anti-Semitic. He said nothing to condemn any members of the squad that have been very anti-Semitic. I believe he didn't even. I want to say he didn't even condemn the Palestinian guy that was saying "Death to America" in Minnesota, because he is so terrified of losing Minnesota. He wants to keep every vote he can get in Dearborn. I mean, not Minnesota, Michigan. Dearborn.
Yeah, and I think people do that, and that's why he's behind on every major issue, including the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
I think people see him as
the Middle East. He's rolling the economy. I mean, today the jobs numbers came out, not that good.
Yeah.
And I understand the Fed is most likely going to go back to raising interest rates opposed to lowering them.
Well, I think but with the economy not doing so good, that at least maybe gives them an opportunity to cut them now. If the economy was still kind of hot.
No, but they're not going to cut them. They're going to raise them. Is what I heard. Interest rates still going to kick them up. But inflation is still
persistent. But I guess the thought is, if the economy's coming towards the soft landing, maybe there'd be potential of cutting.
Mm-hmm. Although I don't know how soft of a landing we're at, because I mean, luckily, I'm not going to say I don't think we've hit quite bottom yet.
Well, I mean, we haven't hit the recession. It's still coming. The growth is still there, but it's not as high as they expected.
Yeah, it's very. The growth is very slow, and I think honestly, we're not going to see any real substantial growth until President Trump's back in the White House. Frankly.
Yeah.
And the Democrats, they're going to try and impeach. If they win the House, they're going to impeach you in the first 90 days.
Yeah. Well,
then they'll impeach you again the second 90 days.
Yeah. Well, if he wins, and if it looks as good as it may be, in other words, he wins every swing state, I can't see them, despite how bad the Congress has been and how many screw-ups we've had, I don't think we're going to lose the House then if you'd have a Trump victory.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I mean, look, in Maryland 6, if Neil Parent wins the primary over Dan Cox, I think we can win the 6th district with Neil.
Okay, yeah.
Especially in Maryland, we got Larry Hogan, a lot of, and honestly, it's like I saw a commercial David Trone had about how horrible and radical Larry Hogan is. I'm like, something? I wish Larry Hogan. Larry Hogan is going to be a fine senator. He'll be in the mold of Mac Mathias and J. Glenn Bell, who were our last two Republican senators. Maryland at one point had 2 Republican senators concurrent.
Oh.
J. Glenn Bell and Mac Mathias.
Well, when was that?
Mac Mathias was there until 82, until he retired.
Okay.
And J. Glenn Bell retired in 78, which gave us Paul Sarbanes.
All right.
And when Mac retired, that gave us the troll that lives under the Bay Bridge, a kid, Barbara Mikulski.
Yeah.
You know,
Is she still with us?
yeah, she is. She's still with us.
Okay. Well, she's got to
But I
be
think
getting
that
up in age.
yeah, I tell you this though, 1982 was kind of like I want to say Marjorie Holt was the first Republican elected as a congressman from Maryland in a long time.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want to say it goes back to the days of General Devereux when he represented Maryland, but it was a good long time. And then she won. 2 years later, we picked up Helen Bentley's seat, where she basically sent away Kathleen Kennedy Townsend.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's right. That was a long time ago when she ran, Kathleen Kennedy. I forgot she made a race for Congress.
Yeah, and she
That was
lost.
before she was lieutenant governor.
Yep.
Okay. I do vaguely remember that race. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's what do you call? I
Do you
think
remember?
what's that?
Well, remember, there's another Kennedy in Maryland politics. Remember the
Mark
Shriver?
Shriver. Yeah, Mark Shriver. He was my parents' state delegate for a
That's
long
right.
time.
Yeah.
And Mark Shriver lost to Van Hollen for the CD8
Yeah.
primary, and
Yeah. I remember that.
and he basically and then Mark Shriver. There was talk that Mark Shriver was going to run for governor,
Okay.
which never came up. And you know who else? You know, we have another Kennedy that lived in Montgomery County too. William Kennedy Smith.
Oh,
Do you remember him?
Yeah, I
He was
remember.
a Darnestown dentist. Now he's an ANC commissioner in D.C. He
I
lives in
didn't know
Foggy
that.
Bottom. Yeah, he's in Foggy Bottom now, and he is.
I didn't know that he went. Remember, he went through the woman accused him of attacking her. Remember that case?
But he had the Kennedy Express card.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just like his uncle had that. Just like he's what do you call? Just like his dad, Mary Jo Kopechne.
Yeah.
Where
William Kennedy Smith, though, who was he related to, though? Which Kennedy was he?
He was Pat's Ted. It was honestly is one of the sisters. It was basically
One of the sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One of JFK's sisters.
Yeah.
Was okay.
And and then you had the Shrivers, a big Maryland family. You know, Sergeant Shriver.
Yeah. Actually, if all the Kennedys are Kennedy related, I thought Sergeant Shriver was a good man. So I thought a lot of him.
Dr. Pierpont would disagree with you on that.
Well, he was a faithful Catholic. He'd be at mass every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I respected him for his faith, which I thought was genuine, unlike the others.
And I tell you, and he was married to Eunice Kennedy.
Okay.
And Eunice Kennedy had there's actually a center at the National Eunice Kennedy Shriver Institute on child disabilities and stuff like that.
Okay, that's right. They're doing the Special Olympics, Olympics and things like that. Yeah.
And they've done good. They've done good things. You know, I never would elect any Shriver. I wouldn't elect Maria Shriver or any Shriver to any office, frankly.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if you saw at the State of the Union, he had all the Kennedys except one in the pews in the up top, showing off that look, all the Kennedys are with me.
Oh, you mean the Biden thing?
Yeah, the Biden State of the Union. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
one you said, except for Bobby. Okay, yeah, except for Bobby.
Yeah, it's like when they last November they did the Kennedy assassination retrospect on the History Channel.
Yeah.
Every Kennedy was in there except one Kennedy. RFK was not involved in that.
Okay. Yeah,
I think he's shunned by the Kennedy family. I think now he's being shunned.
Yeah, well, they put their politics right up there, so you don't go against the party.
Yeah. Those are really long hours, Susan. 7 to 8 p.m.
Oh, wow.
How is that any different than the regular elections? You know,
Yeah, that's really weird. You're right. Yeah.
I don't think early voting should be 9 to 5.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
even that. Yeah, it's absurd they keep it open like that. I mean, it's election season. It should be election day, really.
Yeah. Has early voting started in Virginia yet, or is
Yeah,
about
I
to
believe
start?
so. Yeah, I believe so, actually, for our primary.
You
So I've got to
know,
vote. I got to vote in that one. So,
yeah, I'm gonna vote early.
so what happened in
Hey,
West Virginia? It's already done. Justice is the
no,
nominee.
no. The primary is on the same day ours is, the 14th,
Oh, okay.
and
But I assume
again,
that's going to be justice.
yeah, that's what all the polls are showing right now.
Yeah.
But then again, Alex could surprise people and beat him.
Huh?
Alex could surprise everyone and beat,
Yeah, that's
beat
true. But I
Justice.
guess with Trump's endorsement, that really is a
Yeah.
big plus.
I'm kind of thinking, what is the calculus behind that?
Well, I mean, he knows justice. He probably thinks justice will be a solid win.
Yeah, Eric Lukey wants online voting. I know that. Many Dems want web voting.
Wait, you're kidding? You can vote online?
No, you can't. But Eric
Oh,
Lukey wants that. He
that's,
used to be a state delegate. Now I think he's the governor's chief of staff or something like that.
yeah, I don't support any such thing.
I don't even like early voting, frankly.
Yeah, I don't even like that. Yeah, I
You
think you
had
show up. Yeah,
mail-in balloting is you get an absentee ballot. I mean,
yeah,
we should have election.
yeah, I agree. Well, I don't see Dwight.
Hey, Dave, you there? Jump back in. Oh, it looks like we had some technical problems. While David gets back on, we will talk with our friend Susan. Okay, so let's do this. Let's call it a night. We're having technical difficulties on our end. And we'll be back next week. Good night, everyone.